This will be race number 10 here on day number 6. Dean Barker on the left, Jimmy Spithill on the right.
Todd, it'll be interesting to see. You know, Oracle knows that they're coming in from the unfavored side this time. Let's see if they try a completely different strategy again. I wouldn't be surprised to see Oracle stay really far away from Team New Zealand this time, not go for that hook, and actually just try to do a nice running start from quite a distance away.
A start developed by Harold Vanderbilt in the 1930s, a time run.
The Vandy.
Take 20 seconds time. Got us on time now. 20 seconds. Okay, here we go.
So the Kiwis roll over, and now they make their way towards the line. They have a 10-second advantage to start on the port side, and that is all for safety reason. And then the dance begins here. It's race number 10 of the 34th America's Cup. So the long layoff from race number 9 is over, and now it is on. Emirates Team New Zealand with a port entry. Here come the Americans.
Okay, buddy. Driving here. 7 over here. Right. He's driving pretty close to it. 1, driving.
So Dean Barker jiving back and looking for that low lay line, that left-hand edge of the starting box as they're starting to go back toward the starting line. This has been very common for the boat that enters the box early. Let's see what Spithill has up his sleeve.
He's on it there.
Both boats are at least 20 seconds early for the line, so there's plenty of time for maneuvers.
One minute to the line.
Very similar strategy to the last time around. Emirates Team New Zealand is really protecting that left side.
1 below sailing lane. 15 to the boat. We're just below sailing lane here.
Very aggressive move by Spithill here with only 30 seconds to go. Trying to push Barker too far down in the box. That is what Jimmy's trying to do. 20 seconds to go.
New Zealand is in huge trouble here being so low. Spittill's start is going to be easy if he accelerates now.
That hits the line with more momentum. Dean Barker does have the favorable line, but the Americans are accelerating from the Kiwis.
This is all about pace. Can Emirates Team New Zealand keep an overlap as they approach this 3-boat length circle? You hear Slingsby even say that he's overlapped. Phenomenal job by Team New Zealand keeping the overlap and protesting Oracle. Let's see what the judges say.
No penalty coming. So they wave off the penalty. The Kiwis don't catch a break there. They were first to the circle. They had the overlap, and the Americans pushed it just a little bit. So that's definitely got to be a break for Team USA.
Just hung on. That was reaching speed we haven't seen out of Emirates Team New Zealand this entire event so far. Great job by Dean Barker keeping that overlap and making it stick.
All right, Gary, so the Americans have found themselves behind for the first time in the last 2 races. What do they do now?
Well, what do they do now is not panic. They know they were going well upwind before. Just stay as close as you possibly can, split the gate, and they'll have a good chance to pass on the 3rd leg.
Big lead already, over 150 meters for New Zealand. And the USA dropping behind, but the American speed is just a little bit just a little bit behind the Kiwis at this point.
Certainly no panic there, Todd, aboard the American boat.
No question.
My goodness, though, that was so close to being an Oracle lead at that mark. Just incredible job. I can't say enough how good a job Team New Zealand did to keep that overlap and make it stick.
40 seconds this way. What do you want to go?
Well, the Americans had the acceleration at the line, but it was Dean Barker who had the position as we take a look at virtual eye.
Just staying forward of the wing wash. Their air is barely clear here, barely. And they just, look at that. Thank goodness they didn't cut their spinnaker pole off, because that could be the difference, you know? Really, the way they're controlling these boats coming in, the wing wash is just behind, just to weather or the right-hand side of Emirates Team New Zealand. They keep a tiny bit of clear air and make it work. Again, we're always talking about turning points, a huge turning point in this regatta. Just that one little leg, that mark round it.
And if the Americans would have got the penalty, Gary, it could have been game over.
Yeah, I mean, the nice move here by New Zealand was to stay up on the wind here a little bit, and Spittle on the right, working hard to stay clear, lost a lot of distance. When the New Zealanders turned away, they gained 4 lengths. Very nice move by Dean Barker.
So here we are on leg number 2. New Zealand has the lead. It's dropped to 135 meters. And they're already starting to think about mark number 2.
Again, we keep repeating ourselves here, but Ainsley will be thinking about a split now. That's all he wants to do, is try to round the opposite mark to Emirates Team New Zealand as they approach the bottom gate.
So the Americans closing the gap just a little bit. All right, Ken, as we look down toward that leeward mark down there, gate number 2, who do you like? Whose position is more favorable?
Well, I think you'll see the same thing. Emirates Team New Zealand not trying to minimize maneuvers and not trying to do too much. Thinking, hey, you know, we have pretty good pace against these guys. No reason to panic, that's for sure. And then Oracle, they're going to do everything they can to get a split.
About 30 seconds. Stay on time. Yeah. Oh! Wait, Mike.
18 seconds.
Come on.
18.
20, guys.
12. No fat.
20 seconds.
That's Ray Davies counting down to the ley line call. He has those instruments right on his body, on his wrist, or on his chest, and he can see exactly how far he is from ley line or the approach directly to the mark.
Steady left, Jimmy. Give it fast.
Ready for a wing?
Go.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay, steady left, Jimmy. Copy. Spinning left. One leg left.
Todd, Jimmy Spithill just said 1 in left. They're going for a split down here, but it's a tough maneuver.
In race 10 at gate number 2, it's the Kiwis, the first ones to the mark. And the challengers will head closer to shore, so that really forces the hand of the Americans as Jimmy Spithill enters the circle, and he's going to head closer to Alcatraz Island.
And get slow around this mark. This was not the perfect rounding that these guys needed to have. They got slow. They jibed a little early. Like I said before, it's a really hard maneuver to pull off, and it wasn't perfect. They'll be the first to admit.
What numbers here?
27, 28.
Yep. The oil, Jimmy. Oil.
I'm surprised New Zealand hasn't tacked to get back into the center to stay between them and Oracle Team USA.
Hey, tag. That's set out there.
200, you happy?
Stand by, guys.
Gary, this ebb tide definitely allows the boats to spread it out a little wider and not have to go crazy on tacking, but you're right. They'll keep an eye on USA at this stage, that's for sure.
Yeah, Kenny, you remember Oracle gained on the right side of the course where they are now in the last race, and that's where they're positioned, so they have an opportunity to catch up.
Nice and smooth, boys. Settle it down.
Attack, fellas. Still right back in this.
Looks like a gain to Oracle to me.
Dino. Now this is to set up parallel, okay? Setting up parallel. Pretty clear, mate.
Ray Davies talking to him, saying we're going to set up parallel.
That's because the wind is better on the right side. It's shifted more to the right. That helped Oracle, and New Zealand wants to get on the right side to take advantage of that wind shift.
Definitely a little better current out where New Zealand's going. This is not shocking at all to see them go across. They gain starboard tack advantage, of course, if they ever got close, which they're not really very close right now, but definitely better current on the dumping grounds right out by Alcatraz Island.
Emirates, Team New Zealand, their lead has grown to 140 meters.
If you're USA, you're looking to tack to get this back into the center of the course. But look at this, Oracle Team USA making a tack, keeping it centered, perfect. I like the tactics of Ben Ainsley.
Let's smooth this back down, guys. Going well.
Same lead here, boys. This is good.
Todd, to think a few days ago, we would have just thought this race is over. And now I think everybody in the world watching this race is on pins and needles. Can Oracle keep coming at it? Because it looks to my eye, Gary, they're kind of reeling them in a little bit right now. It's not tight yet by any means, but it certainly doesn't look like it's further away.
You know, Kenny, I feel like I'm watching Usain Bolt have a slow start and come charging through. They're clearly gaining. That's Oracle Team USA is certainly gaining here.
Nice blackwood attack.
Take a look out on virtual eye, the animation on board. We'll talk about the current here, and it's starting to build just a little bit. The ebb tide, which is going out to sea, and it's getting a little heavier.
Yeah, you see a little better tide on the right-hand side where Oracle is at this stage. I kind of thought the Team New Zealand would bounce Oracle and actually send them back to the left side of the race course. By bounce, I mean tack on top of them. But they gave them a little bit stronger position when it comes to tide. You never know about wind shift, but certainly as it comes to tide.
This is leg 3 of 5, race number 10, the second race of the day. The Americans have won the last 2. Jimmy Spithill with his hand on the wheel. Behind him, Tom Slingsby. Behind him, Ben Ainsley. So at roughly the halfway point of the final race of the day, it is Emirates Team New Zealand, the challengers, out in front of the defenders by 125 meters, but the Americans are coming and coming fast.
Pressure on the tacticians at this stage. Ray Davies, these are his calls when he wants to go. How is he going to try to set up the other guy in order to make that big gain toward the end of the leg?
As we check in on the water with Gary Jobson. Gary, how is the wind? Is it picking up that much more? Are the currents and everything just kind of holding firm?
Well, the current's actually slacking a little bit, so that helps that. The wind is staying about even. I think we're going to get it in. Remember, they get to the winter mark, the wind limit is out. But I'll tell you, looking at Ray Davies there, that looked like a worried man to me. He knows the other boat's sailing faster.
I don't know if Ray Davies is ever worried, Gary. I know him pretty well. But these guys certainly are getting chumped on a bit.
And at the cross on leg number 3, this is just how close it is. The battle for the victory in race number 10 is on. Under 100 meters as the Americans have made up more than 45 meters just in that last little bit.
Todd, it was interesting in the last tack that both boats tacked from the opposite sides of the race course right at each other at exactly the same time. New Zealand bottomed out at 11 knots. Oracle bottomed out at 13.5 knots. They're actually tacking faster at this stage.
we're very close to Oracle right now. From my perspective, down on the water, I like the position Oracle's in. They have a little bit more favorable current, sweeping them toward the windward mark, and the wind direction is better. So they're going to have a better course for the mark. Oracle's looking good.
I think both boats are sailing really fast right now. I just saw Emirates Team New Zealand pop a wheelie for a second and lost almost 3 boat lengths in that one maneuver. They got a little out of sequence with their boards. Oracle is right back in the hunt.
And they have the right of way, Ken, as they come together. New Zealand is in trouble.
So the Americans have made up more than 150 meters on a leg that in the past has been their kryptonite. And here they are. They have the right of way as we get ready for a big cross.
60-knot closing speed. The 2 boats coming together. But now Team New Zealand will have the right of way when they come back. Who can tack better on this next tack could actually be the race.
Psychologically very devastating to Team New Zealand. It's hard to pick yourself up after you lose a lead like that.
So the Americans have taken the lead away on leg number 3. Kenny, look at this cross and look how fast they're going.
This is sailing like we've never seen before. And these guys are just wheeling these things around like it's a dinghy out in your Tuesday night race at that Barrington Yacht Club back in Rhode Island. Huge moment in the race. If Oracle dips, but then again, they're going to be on starboard. Another cross coming up. Another lead change.
Kenny, in a long history of the America's Cup, dating back to 1851, we've seen more lead changes in this Cup than any Cup in history.
The technology introduced at the 34th America's Cup is space age, and they've taken it to a whole new level, much to the delight of Larry Ellison. It is now New Zealand and USA neck and neck here on race number 10.
And people said Catamaran's good match race.
Match racing on steroids and a lot of emotion.
So once they get around mark number 3, the wind limit goes away. It looks like that will be the case.
One more starboard tack. Crossing coming here. Now the boat length, the circles actually come into play. Who gets into what circle first? This could be a really interesting mark rounding here at the gate. Emirates Team New Zealand is going high and slow right now, looking for a dip at the last second. They want to dip and still be able to lay this gate.
On that tactic, Oracle needs to slow down.
Another cross, another lead change.
And at mark number 3, it is almost dead even.
Wow, there's nothing in this.
So they'll make their way back towards San Francisco City, and the race is on. Who will emerge as victorious here in race number 10 on day 6 of the 34th America's Cup? Leg 4 of 5, and Ken, that third mark may have been the telltale sign. Kenny, if you were the Americans, you had an opportunity there to stuff the Kiwis if you were on just stall out here and bear off to the right.
Well, no, they would have been passed. That's exactly how the setup had to play out. The Kiwis actually did a really nice job of slowing down early. They went high and slow early so they could dip and still make the mark. Both of these boats set this up as well as they possibly could have.
Go hard, guys. Work really hard here.
But now you have Team New Zealand coming at on starboard tack.
The lead is under 20 meters. We have 1.5 legs to go in this race, and we will have ourselves a winner. The Americans coming in awfully fast at the top of your screen.
Two boats coming at each other at 80 knots. Combined speed. Jimmy Spithill has made the decision to slow down and go behind, which is a really tricky move to make and keep your judgment. And sure enough, there's now a large gap between the two. I'm surprised they didn't just jibe with him. That's a tough thing to pull off if you're Team USA.
Yeah, I think a big mistake there by Ben Ainsley, Ken. Why not job on the wind and stay right with him if it's that close? They might have been able to block their wind. Now they've given away the lead.
And the lead is now over 100 meters. This is like 4 of 5. They'll head to the top of your screen. They will make a big right-hand turn, and then the race is on to the finish.
But when New Zealand does make the jibe, remember, Oracle Team USA will be on starboard with the right of way.
Todd, I can't tell you how that kind of slow down and dip behind Emirates Team New Zealand. The move that Oracle tried to make, that has a difficulty factor of about 10 out of 10 to actually pull off and keep close. But like Gary said, they're on starboard, but they're well behind. They're going to need a break here at this stage. They're going to need New Zealand to make a mistake.
You know, we're right behind the boats, and I'm looking, and Oracle's sailing a lower course than New Zealand right now. That might be the saving moment for them if they're able to keep that low course and the high speed.
Great Babies just keep such a cool demeanor. Here we are in the pivotal race in the America's Cup, and he's like, yeah, I think we're gaining a little bit here. Just really, this is the voice you want to hear if you're steering the boat.
That is the target, mark number 4. When they hit that, they will head off to the right-hand side of the left of your picture and head towards the finish line.
Nice game, boys. Off of Emirates Team New Zealand. Again, that dipping move by Oracle, they're going to go back and they're going to question what they did at that particular time. Nice little lead, a couple hundred yards. It went from 0 to 200 yards in a matter of seconds, Todd.
So about 40 seconds here, 40 seconds, no rush.
20 seconds, lay like no fat. Good breeze all the way. 10 seconds, lean over, no fat.
I like to move sailing beyond the ley line, that yellow line there. It just gives it a little more conservative, takes away any passing lane for Oracle Team USA. Plus, you come in with a little extra speed. Nice move by the New Zealanders.
And this is typically where Dean Barker just puts the pedal down. There you see the knots coming up as they approach mark number 4. It's the Kiwis in firm control, traveling at 42 knots, which is 48 miles an hour, and they make the turn first for home. The lead was 1 second at mark number 3, and now the Kiwis have opened it up. The lead is now closer to 10 seconds as the Americans finally hit the mark, make it 11. Ken, this is almost no man's land. When the Kiwis have a lead and a straight line to the finish line, good luck.
Not much in it here at this stage. Just don't do anything crazy. Don't over rev it up. You got a nice little lead right now. Don't do anything silly.
You know, guys, I really like the fact that nobody in the New Zealand boat is looking back at the competition, looking ahead for the finish. Very nice.
Looking ahead for a finish line that they have not been first to in the last 2 races, but they will stop the hemorrhaging of loss as the Kiwis sail a magnificent race, neck and neck with the Americans. And then at leg number 4, one small mistake, possibly by Oracle Team USA, which opens the door. Race number 10 will go the way of the challenger. Emirates Team New Zealand will pick up the victory.
And I believe that sigh of relief comes from approximately 4 million people in the small island of New Zealand.
Just a fantastic race all the way around. The Americans just couldn't get it done. They finished 17 seconds behind, but Ken, I agree with you. They will go back and look at leg number 4 and ask themselves what could have been. But for New Zealand, no mistakes. The Kiwis reign supreme in day 10.
It's going to turn up. You all right?